We're more than just podcasts and a radio station at Boise State Public Radio. We're a trusted resource and a lifeline for communities across Idaho. It's up to all of us to safeguard public media's future. You can learn more at protectmypublicmedia.org. Together, we can ensure that Boise State Public Radio remains a trusted resource for you and your neighbors for generations to come.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudet. So much of a city's identity can be discovered through their art, which is why things like public murals and sculptures are so important. They help tell a story. And it's because of this that the city of Meridian has recently launched a new interactive public art map. Not only can you find installations all over the city, but you will also be able to read about the inspiration behind them. So joining us now to talk more about the interactive map is Cassandra Schiffler, Arts and Cultural Coordinator for Meridian, and she manages public art projects for the city as well. Cassandra, I want to welcome you to the program.
Hi, Gemma. Great to be here.
So tell us a little more about this map and where the idea for it came from.
Yeah. So we did have a website before this, but it was a little bit clunky, and we had a newer GIS employee who was interested in starting the map and we researched quite a few other cities' websites and things. So I have to give a huge shout out to him, Hayden Smith. He's one of our newer GIS employees and been working on this for months, kind of back and forth and testing. And we just wanted a way to really showcase our public art collection and make it so that people, if they're in a neighborhood, they can zoom in on an area and see what is near them and learn more information about the artwork and the artist who made it when it was installed.
So with that said, Cassandra, what kind of art is included in this collection? I mean, I mentioned murals, but there are all kinds of other things.
Yeah, one of the most popular and visible ones, I think, is the traffic box wraps, and some of our neighboring cities do those too. So we have lots of those throughout the city. We have quite a few sculptures, and a lot of our sculptures are located in Meridian's parks. And we have, just this last year, we added transit shelters.
And what will people be able to see when they're using this new tool? So if they want to not just look at art, but if they want to look for art pieces.
You get to, let's see, you see the image of the artwork, which is nice. And you can also do it by category if you're just interested in looking at the murals, or if you want to look at everything, or you want to look at the sculptures. And there's more information about each piece, the title, the artist name.
And even like how it was inspired, right? Like what inspired them to create this piece of art?
Yeah. So some of them have the artist statements, and some of them have more information about how it was selected, or about the background inspiration for the imagery that they're using.
Well, and also when you use this new tool, you can it'll tell you the actual location, right? Which is kind of nice, instead of like looking around, trying to find something. You're really making this so much easier for folks.
Yes, yeah, that's the great thing about the GIS system, is that you can pinpoint the exact location. And I think one of the most interesting things when you look at the overall map is to just see how many and how spread out there are. And then one of the things that's kind of nice is you can also look at maybe where there are some areas where there's not as much artwork, which kind of leads me into talking about, we're working on a public art master plan soon. And so the GIS tool will be great for looking at, where are some opportunities that maybe we've missed, or some places where we would like to have public art.
So talk a little bit more about the public art master plan, because what's the goal of this?
Yeah, this will be Meridian's first ever public art master plan. So it'll have a lot of research, and we'll do some process and policy updates, but we'll also have some community outreach and engagement events and a survey. So the survey we'll be ready to share in a few months, and we'll want as many Meridian residents and visitors to take the survey to help shape future public art projects in Meridian. So we'd like to get feedback from the community what kinds of things would they like to see? More murals, more sculptures, what themes are important? I think one of the things that's kind of come up before is that Meridian has a strong agricultural roots. And so maybe that's an important theme, or maybe there's some things that we're not thinking about that the public might be able to provide some input to shape where the public art goes in the future.
Oh, what kind of value do you think public art adds to a community?
I think it's truly important because it transforms a space and it makes a place unique and special. It gives people a sense of pride in that place and says, we care about this place. And it also just kind of helps us fight ordinary buildings and ordinary cities, ordinary parks to create something that people really care about. And it also champions artists in our society. I think now more than ever, we really need artists to provide us with inspiration, creativity, and imagination to help us envision a better world.
Oh, and also, I think what's so fascinating about art is it defines a city. And can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you mentioned, with Meridian and how agriculture is such a big part of it, like that history, right? Well, that's not necessarily the case in other cities. So it's incorporating, history and just even the living and moving dynamic of a city.
Exactly. I love that you bring that up. There's a term that's kind of thrown around some is related to public art called placemaking. And really, public art is unique and special, and it's only there in that one place. And so it really kind of helps identify what does that community value, what's important, what are maybe there's some history that it's tied to, or maybe there is something special about that place. And so if you look up more information on the public art, it's a way to kind of feel inspired by that place and to think about it and also just identify it. One of the things that Meridian's park system is very, very new. Meridian's one of the fastest growing communities in the nation. And so a lot of our parks looked really similar. And so we focused a lot of our public art in those parks to really sort of theme them and identify them and make them different from other parks.
Do you have any upcoming public arts projects?
Yes, we have a few. Speaking of parks, we have one that's being worked on right now by an artist, Ken McCall. He's a local artist and fabricator, and it'll be at Chateau Park, which is a neighborhood park. And the piece is kind of themed around garden and pollinators. And so it has a few benches and a new sign. And there will be a hummingbird, a bumblebee, and a butterfly made out of sculpture attached to those. And we're looking forward to probably some sort of dedication in March for that one. Other projects that are coming up, we do the annual traffic boxes. Oh, and one of the ways with our traffic boxes that are a little bit different than our neighboring cities is we use student artwork for those. So the West Ada School District does an annual show, and the Meridian Arts Commission selects 5 pieces from that become traffic box wraps.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about this. Really appreciate your time. We've been speaking with Cassandra Schiffler. She is the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the City of Meridian, talking about a new interactive map that can be used to find and look at public art in Meridian. And of course, she mentioned a public art master plan that will be ready in a couple of months for folks who live in Meridian to take that survey. And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Thanks so much for listening. And just a reminder, you can find all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
Each morning, it's a new opportunity, a chance to start fresh. Up First from NPR makes each morning an opportunity to learn and to understand. Choose to join the world every morning with Up First, a podcast that hands you everything going on across the globe and down the street, all in 15 minutes or less. Start your day informed and anew with Up First by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts.